Seems like I'll have the last word then.
No, we got one more. We have time for about 2 more questions, so.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of observations and as well 2 questions. But before that, my name is Aman Kapoor. I represent Immigration Voice. We are a group of skilled immigrants who are already here, waiting in line for green cards, and we have 100,000 members. We represent almost 1 million people who are already here, legally present, waiting for the green cards. Before I ask or share my observation, I need to ask everybody in the audience, is there anybody here who represent American workers? Any organization? Okay, which one is that? Okay, is there anybody else here? And the reason why that is so is because American workers and Americans are paying taxes so that CIS and DHS would do their job. I didn't hear a word about displacement. I didn't hear a word about rights, immigrant rights. I didn't hear a word about exploitation and abuses of immigrants when they come over here and they are waiting in decades-long backlog. I didn't hear a word about that in this entire conversation. This conversation was about employment-based, isn't that the subject of the conversation? And now, I didn't hear anything about displacement. You have this report in which you have published data about the L1B RFE rates. But I didn't hear or I didn't see any graph ever by Ombudsman or DHS about the displacement of workers in US. And the reason why I bring that up is, here is the reason. People need rights. They have been here for many years. They're waiting in green card backlogs. I know, Kevin, you receive a lot of emails from people who are waiting in backlogs. Thank you for doing EADH4. But why is it taking 1 year for 140 regulation? And I think the only motivation right now to do EAD 140 regulation is because it's about 1 year to when the president announced that that fix is going to be coming in. It has been 15 years. The 2 administrations have not defined what is same or similar. Just doesn't make sense. I think the gentleman over there, the one who asked the question earlier, his concern was submitting documents is burdensome. And I think Peter earlier mentioned he wanted Uber and mobile workforce, which is fine. But what about the workforce that already is there who wants to change jobs? They are unable to change jobs. They don't have rights. And how long can you continue to do this? Now, even with the EAD for 140 regulation, you would have 1 year wait time. That's what we are hearing. Why 1 year wait time for EAD for 140? Undocumented, DAPA, they're not having to wait for 1 year to get their EADs. And these are people who have approved immigrant petitions. Why would they have to wait 1 year? Anyway, companies are filing their green cards after 5th year. So by the time they get to the approval of 140 stage, they're already 7th year into their employment. And now you want them to wait for 1 more year? That means 8 years they're working for the same employer. Even Saudi Arabia doesn't have this requirement, that before you get a EAD, I mean, this is not a laughing matter. I mean,
Aman, I appreciate your comments. They're very apropos, and we understand the frustration that's there.
No, I don't think because when you invite people over, if you look around this room, everybody's a lawyer or somebody who profits from this business of getting more people from outside.
Aman,
you don't talk about, no, let me finish, please. Let me finish.
No, please.
Let me finish, please.
Please, this is an open...
You've given Angelo 3 times to ask question. If you would not let me finish my question.
Aman, we asked for questions. If you have a question, can you
yes,
please
yes, I do.
the question?
And please let me, if you would let me.
Please.
So now, when you're making these workers around 1 million people in this country who are living like indentured servants, they don't have their rights, and you do this visa bulletin game, and now this EAD for 140 fix is coming up, and we are hearing that that will be under only extraordinary conditions. The only handful of people will be able to apply under extraordinary conditions. Why do this 1 year game and play this around this country where President's executive action is coming up and mobilization will be there and people will have the ability to change jobs, and in the end, only handful of 100 of people will be able to apply for EAD? My question is whether there is going to be an extraordinary condition in EAD for 140. And thank you.
I would ask that you wait until the rule publishes, and then you'll know what's in the rule, and then please submit a comment to
And
the
you
rule.
will submit, I'm sure, many comments.
Well, we
Because
absolutely will be.
There's a lot of speculation as to what might be in the rule. We can't comment on specifics with regard to ongoing rulemakings, but as David Shahulian said this morning, you know, our rulemakings are a priority, and they should be out soon.
Immigration
Very
is,
soon.
okay, immigration is not about getting people with less rights from outside and to displace American worker. Immigration is about getting people over here and make sure that they have rights. All that you talked about, every subject matter was how to get in more people from outside. When are you going to talk about the rights of people who are already here? When can they change jobs? They don't even have access to their own paperwork. Peter over there representing industry was saying, well, they should not have access to the paperwork. EAD, while I-140s employ, it's an immigrant petition. How can it be not belong to immigrant? It's not an employer petition. It doesn't belong, the name of the petition itself is immigrant petition. How can it not belong to the immigrant itself? Thank you.
Thank you, Aman. On that note, I think that we are done. Thank you very much, and we appreciate your time.